Good evening. It's Friday, September 9th, 2022. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. I'm RisenLadyHeathen. Hey, asshole. What separates our show from other millennial news podcasts?
The fear of whatever is eating the Dinovians.
Thought it was Denisovians.
Sure, no,
Whatever
it's
they
your
are.
fucking creature, man. I just assume you're making it up, like everything else, like America being a good country, capitalism working.
We have a boomer, and not just any boomer. We have Mr. BoomerRex himself.
Yeah, good evening.
You two eat, sleep, breathe politics, and I'm still learning the three unique perspectives we share along with the facts from our literal round table. So, let's dig right into our headlines. Yeah, I don't have much else to say tonight. It's kind of been a dull news day.
It's a dull day. Yeah.
I even desperately was trying to find more things to talk about, and that didn't go well. All right, so let's start with unplanned ride.
All right. So, anyway, here you are. You're collecting pine nuts, right? And apparently those are way off the ground, so you have to be off the ground. So how do you do that?
I'm gonna use my
A ladder.
yeah.
How about a hydrogen balloon?
No.
That seems crazy, but
And
okay.
dangerous.
So, who was using a hydrogen balloon?
Obviously, the dude up at the Pine Nuts. Can we move this on?
That's what I said. Who was using a hydrogen balloon?
Okay.
And he and his partner were up, and something went wrong, and his partner jumped out. So the hydrogen balloon is now interested in going higher. So he took a 2-day ride. And they finally managed to get him on his cell phone and explain to him how to let the helium out of the balloon slowly so he would come
Helium or
down.
hydrogen?
What?
Helium or hydrogen?
Hydrogen.
All right, you said helium a second ago, so.
Did I? Oh, it's a hydrogen balloon. So,
One of those is scary, and the other lets you
you
make
just
your
don't
voice
light
real
your
high.
cigarette. Anyway, so he traveled about 200 miles from his point of origin, and he came down, and he's perfectly fine, apart from a pain in his lower back, which is probably from having to stand up the whole time he was flying.
How long was he
So,
up and
2 days.
away?
2 days.
I couldn't imagine standing for 2 days.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it depends.
Yeah.
If it's 400 feet to the ground, you're going to stand as long as you have to.
Anyway.
But anyway, I thought it was interesting that who rode a hydrogen balloon. And you
Yeah.
realize we're playing Who's on First, right?
Yes.
Yeah. His name is Who. Sorry. I thought it was fun.
I had no idea what you were talking about.
I'm not sure she's ever done or seen Who's on First done
I
all the way
have
through. Okay.
a bunch of
Yeah.
times.
So yeah, therein lies your problem.
Okay.
Russia spreads more propaganda.
Oh, yeah. So their ambassador, Vasily Nebenzia, called a meeting to discuss the threats to peace caused by foreign governments supplying arms and military goods to Ukraine. God, talk about laughable. Anytime you want the return to peace, all you have to do is take your nickel-turny barbarians home to Russia.
Yeah.
So, fuck them.
Get all your asshole kids back on your side of the fence and everything can stop.
They're saying Western weapons and so-called wonder warfare will change the course of the 6-month conflict, and giving them to bring Ukrainian victory, and it's very lamentable because it won't happen. We're very far from the end of the destructive process. And then the disarmament chief of the UN briefed the council saying there was widespread and independently verified of reports of transfer of major conventional weapons systems to local armed groups in Ukraine. Right, so you know exactly which side that's on.
Yep. No,
Because they've run out of soldiers and they're trying to find them some cannon
they're
fodder.
gonna break off an autonomous zone as their plan.
They're going to try.
Aye. All depends on whether or not the world wants this fight to stop.
Yep,
My money is not on the world doing the good thing.
we'll see.
Aye.
Yep.
All I have is their observed previous behavior. We didn't give a shit when the Saudi prince chopped up a journalist. Right? We don't care. We don't believe the things we say.
Right. And we don't act on them.
Yeah.
No wonder nobody
Hey,
believes
hey,
this.
hey! From not even my favorite fictional character. I can't come up with the number, but it's high. You shall know them by their works.
Yes.
What was that? They called it Wonder. What?
Wonder weapons
Wonder
and wonder
weapons.
warfare.
Why do they call them Wonder Weapons?
Because to the Russians, they're like magic.
Yeah, this is some war in the worlds in the desert last night, and we were the Martians.
Okay, so so they're mad that we're giving Ukraine like reasonable weapons
Yeah.
to use against them.
Well,
and
weapons
that
that-
obviously also
Weapons that they
shows
can't match
that,
and can't
that they don't
defeat.
have these weapons.
Right.
And can't produce from the ones they do capture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we handed the smaller kid on the playground
A bigger stick.
hyperpowers weapon or hand-me-downs, and it is killing them in ways they didn't even understand that could happen.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny. No, I was just caught by the term Wonder Weapons, and I was like, what the fuck? The fuck did they think they're using lasers or some shit? Like, what is going on here? Like,
I'm willing to bet that a
shit.
number of Russians in intelligence fields have had their feet up on the table playing Call of Duty for the last 20 years and just going, I don't know, just make some shit up based on the new one.
Yep.
It's kind of like, yeah, they got lasers, man. It's great.
Yeah. And I assure you, lasers are playing a role.
No, but that also shows how, like, behind the times their military really
Yeah.
is. Which we've
When
seen
their shit works at all.
Which
Yeah.
we've seen time and time again throughout this entire conflict, right?
And that was always kind of Russia's threat, is it wasn't that they were any good at fighting, it's just there's an uncountable fucking number of them.
Yeah, and it turned out they had hypersonic missiles.
Yeah, 3 of
But they
them.
appear to have fired, I was going to say 4.
Yeah.
So,
And that was the entire national supply. Good job, kiddo.
yeah.
Yeah, probably should have.
You
saved
fucked that
those.
building all up.
Yeah, we're talking about a country that couldn't buy tires that worked.
Talking about a country who can't make artillery because they have to import artillery parts. Like, oh, you can't be expansionary, buddy.
Yeah.
They couldn't even keep their own fucking tanks.
Running. Yeah.
Well, in general, like there's people like, oh look, a tank,
them.
mine now. Like,
Well, if you had just seen the other 4 tanks in your tank platoon go cat kill, right, with the turret 100
Wrong side
feet in
up,
the air and so forth, yeah, getting out of the tank and running away is the only reasonable thing to do. Because the people who were shooting at you were going to fuck you up.
The fuck it is, you pop smoke and back up hard. Aye, that's all there is. But giving up the
Yeah,
tank
but if the
fucking
3 tanks behind you are dead,
Aye,
that popping
drive
smoke
forward.
and backing up is going to be...
Fine, drive forward.
Yeah.
Getting out of the tank means you die shitty in a field.
Depends on how far away they are.
Sure, but if they're shooting at you, I
Well, the range of the anti-tank weapons is a good deal further than any Ukrainian can shoot a rifle.
yeah.
So,
all right, there should be consequences.
oh, you gotta love this. Remember South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, the one who thinks she wants to run for president and so forth, and she's so cool and
seems like
pretty
an easy
and
job.
noisy and yeah. Well, anyway, her misconduct has been referred to
People,
The
stuff, and things.
has been referred to a
Don't
special
fucking
prosecutor. Oh no, to the ethics board.
Fine.
No, the ethics board. She intervened to try to get them to dismiss the ethics complaint.
Well, I'm glad that went poorly.
Yep. So anyway, so now the attorney general has filed a complaint based on what Associated Press came up with last year and so forth and so on. That she had intervened in the state agency. Her daughter had failed a real estate exam, and she intervened.
Oh,
with the,
this shithead.
yeah, this shithead. So anyway, she got her real estate appraiser license after Noam held a meeting with the key decision makers and so
She
forth.
lives in the same little bell jar of the lost and damned as Nikki Haley for me.
Yeah.
The people who, there's zero chance you're ever going to get the nomination.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, records released Friday provided insight into an inquiry that the Government Accountability Board has conducted, mostly in secret, for a year. The 3 retired judges who examined the ethics complaint unanimously found there was enough evidence for them to believe that Noam engaged in misconduct by committing malfeasance and conflict of interest.
Hell yeah.
So we'll see where it goes for her.
Yeah, no, that's
The more
fair.
complex it makes her life, the happier I am.
Fair.
Screw her.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Excuse me. Just fuck 'em.
Yeah. Well, we're digging deeper into the infection that was the armed insurrection against America. Brian Jack, the final White House political director under Trump, and Stephen Miller, Mr. Trump's top speechwriter and senior policy advisor.
Well, I mean, I knew they weren't going to call him a Nazi on a shelf, but...
Yeah, okay.
Is that like an elf on
But
a
he's
shelf?
been called that. I know he has.
Fascist on a shelf? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
In case of horniness, look at this. Oh, never mind.
Anyway, they were among a dozen people connected to the former president to receive subpoenas from a federal grand jury.
No?
So, this is cool. The
He's hoping they
subpoenas seek
split him and he melts
information
like
and
Giuliani.
I
connection.
was trying to find something that, like, is an item that rhymes with fascist, so ist. I can't think of an item that ends in ist.
Fuckist?
Yeah, but that's not an item.
Turtist?
It needs to be like a noun, like a thing.
Good luck.
It's gonna tickle.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, subpoena seeks information in connection with the Save America Political Action
What
Committee.
rhymes with fascist?
Listen to our new podcast, Ending Words with Risen.
And the plan to submit slates of electors pledged to Mr. Trump from states which Joseph Biden
Well, they were
won.
running the 2000 model again, and okay, I get it, but
Yep.
whoa, damn, you guys, A, took it way far, and B, the court should have stopped giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
No, but I see more and more, I said it last night, I see more and more evidence the courts are losing patience with the Trump PC.
I think the courts know how thin the branch they're on. They're
Yep.
a dude in a dress.
Yep.
Or a lady in a dress, hip 90s with it, mate. With a little hammer. Like, their power is entirely imaginary.
All right,
And it's
and
good,
next
like,
up
do what
is,
judges say, but...
yeah. Next up is kind of a maybe. DJ Hilson, Muskogee County's prosecutor, will serve as a special prosecutor to decide whether charges should be brought against 9 individuals who allegedly engaged in a conspiracy to gain improper access to Michigan voting machines.
This is the kind
The
of
coordinating council announced Hilson's appointment Thursday. He will now have to weigh the evidence collected through a months-long investigation by the Michigan State Police and Attorney General. Among those whom Nessel's office referred to the special prosecutor for potential charges are Republican Attorney General candidate Matt DePerno. Hey, maybe, we'll see.
Yeah.
Bring him up on charges.
Oh,
No, this is the kind of shit they did that got them under a dissent decree last time.
Yeah,
They fuck around and play these games, they send goons, they all the shit.
yeah.
So, if they're doing something bad, call an adult and Channel 4.
Yep.
If you're in line, demand your right to vote.
fascist on a journalist? Got nothing.
Charlie Hebdo? Just doing word association.
Okay. No, I was trying to do elf on a shelf.
Yeah.
There's really
Mm-mm.
nothing. Okay. Boomer Rex's About Damn Time.
Remember Donald Trump sued Hillary Clinton and a bunch of other folks?
Yep.
Yeah, because they had been mean to him.
Oh no.
Yeah. District Court Judge Donald Middlebrooks filed a 193-page ruling that finds Trump's allegations were neither short nor plain. Judge found many of the claims were unfounded and ridiculous. What the amended complaint lacks is any substantive legal support, and it seeks to substitute with length, hyperbole, and the settling of scores and grievances. Plaintiff has annotated his amended complaint with 293 footnotes containing references to various public reports and findings. First of all, he's not required to annotate his complaint, and in fact, the annotations are inconsistent with Rule 8's requirement for a plain and simple statement of the claim. But if a party chosen to include such references, it is expected that they be presented in good faith and have evidentiary support. That is not the
Stupid.
case here. The judge said the evidence did not show any reason why Trump should be entitled to any of the relief he sought, cited a federal rule authorizing sanctions against lawyers who filed claims that were not supported by evidence or law.
Excellent.
Quote, in presenting a pleading, an attorney certifies that it is not being presented for any improper purpose, that the claims are warranted under the law, and that factual contentions have evidentiary support.
The fuck was
Sure,
he
I'm
trying
glad
to...
I'm not one of the Orange Fool's lawyers
What the fuck was he trying to sue these people over?
Saying mean things.
saying mean things. How they had hurt him before the election.
Or defamed him or some other thing. I love the fact that better still, annotate it incorrectly to the fucking judge and get your people sanctioned. That's delightful.
That's the life. I'll bet he doesn't pay him.
Oh, fuck no.
Oh,
I'll bet the lawyer does. That lawyer's gonna find a way, because that's how you really start a fight with a judge.
So this is no bueno. I mean, it's amazing for us, but no good for him and his ilk. Anyway, dumbass of the day. Who gets the crown?
Johnson County Sheriff Calvin Hayden says a federal law that allows the Internal Revenue Service to add 87,000 employees posed a threat to the people of Kansas and would require deployment of deputies to repel the tax investigators.
There's not enough money in Kansas for the IRS to care.
Why are tax investigators going to people's houses?
They aren't.
Yeah, but that's
In
my
fact, the
point. Like, that's not
87,000
what they do. They call you, and then they just start taking money out of your account.
No, I have known an armed IRS investigator. That's the final step. That's after you filed the court stuff and they're coming looking for records and so forth.
Those aren't the kind of thing you can just hire off the street.
No. I mean, 35 years experience and had never drawn his gun.
Yeah. No,
No,
But I was shocked.
The
I was
87,000 they're
shocked.
hiring are going to help them.
Here's a guy I know is an IRS agent I talk to frequently in the evenings because he comes by for coffee. And all of a sudden I realize he's carrying a goddamn gun.
Yeah.
And I said, do you carry the gun for a reason? And he said, yes. He said, I'm in the enforcement branch of the IRS.
Yep.
And he said, people sometimes shoot at us and it's convenient to be able to shoot back. But he'd never been shot.
No, in fact, one of the kids I grew up with, his dad was a similar thing.
Yeah. So anyway, Hayden has described the IRS as a spooky, spooky entity. Jesus Christ. Where do you get that? You need mental help. I'm sorry.
it's so scary. These people are coming to double check my taxes.
They're promised to help people protect their homes as castles. Anyway, so he's another one of those jackasses. He's leading a criminal investigation into election fraud in the 2020 election. Just crazy.
What the hell?
Anyway, so they earmarked $45,000 for enforcement activities over the next decade to close the gap between what Americans owe and what they pay. And that's the 1% and up are the hugest offenders in that.
Only people that have any money worth
They're
hiding.
not coming for waitresses, guys. But it's why it's important for us to have an army you can depend on. And, every IRS agent in the United States can come to Johnson County, Kansas. And before they start doing crap, we're going to be 500 strong. Assholes.
You should hold your convention there.
They're going to bring the FBI.
Yeah.
And if you give the FBI any trouble,
That's it.
they're going to bring the Marines.
Yeah.
This is an insurrection,
And the Air
asshole.
The Air Force is going to be close air support for the Marine Corps, which is both of their wet dreams. It's going to be fucking horrific.
Yeah. So, anyway, go ahead and do it.
But
I'm sorry. The short answer is bring it, fucktard.
Hey, IRS, hold your convention in whatever shitty part of Kansas he's bitching from. And no, the IRS is not going after little mom and pop things unless you're scummy.
No.
You're hiding money and not paying your taxes, then fuck you.
Well, and again, I feel like the IRS is a lot more understanding for people who, tried to do their taxes appropriately and fucked up.
No, they're unbelievably understanding under those circumstances.
No, I feel like moving a 5 or a 1 somewhere on your paperwork
So-
on accident is not going to get you thrown in fucking jail, okay? These people want the money you owe them. They
Yeah,
want to
not
work
you.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I want to tell a lie. That if you renounce your citizenship, then you don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, no,
There
that's
you
not
go.
true. That's not true.
I know, it's
Don't
very much
listen.
not true.
It's a lie.
Do not do it.
On the other hand, I recommend it to all Republicans as something they should
Right?
try.
Sovereign citizens, try that. You're not allowed to do your other bullshit in court.
Yeah.
Well, and again, every time we've seen that brought to court, it never goes well. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. If you want to try that, it's probably not going to go well legally.
But make sure the judge is in the room when you do it.
Oh, aggressive. That's the only way you have a chance of it even possibly working is if the judge is there. I'm just saying. All right. Michigan. Supreme Court rules abortion rights proposal should go before voters.
Remember about a week ago, the Michigan commission that is responsible for putting stuff on the ballot or not putting it on the ballot.
Yeah, I don't remember what they fucked up, but
Didn't
They
try to
said
push
it was
through without
badly
it going?
worded,
yeah.
right? And despite the fact that it had twice as many signatures as required to get on the ballot, it would not go on the ballot. Well, the Michigan Supreme Court says, fuck you, put it on the ballot.
Excellent.
Well, because weren't they trying to push it through without putting it on the ballot? Wasn't that their intention?
Yeah. They did not want it on the ballot.
Yeah, they just wanted to put it into law.
I have no idea about any of that.
No, well, that's what I understood.
This is an
when-
abortion's rights proposal
Yes.
that would guarantee abortion
Oh,
rights.
fine. I thought they were
Okay.
going the opposite route.
Oh, no, the Republicans are absolutely doing that. Here was the defense against it, and they didn't want it on the ballot because it would constrain their feeble little American Taliban mind.
No, and again, remember, this has nothing to do with abortions. Whenever somebody comes to you and says they're pro-life or whatever, it has nothing to do with abortions. It has everything to do with control. That's all it is.
So I'm a person who wants to tell people what to do, and I thought we all pretty much look. We don't agree on shit, America, at all, ever. I wasn't kidding when I referred to us as a drunken pirate flotilla.
Yeah,
But I thought we did all kind of agree that no one tells us what to do.
yeah, absolutely.
Like just sort of a like genuine muscle reflex of you are not my supervisor.
Yeah, if you don't want me coming in your house telling you you have to have an abortion, then don't come into my house and tell me I can't. I think that's fair.
So anyway, the Board of State Canvassers, who were the ones who resisted putting it on the ballot, the two Republicans on that board had voted against certifying the proposal because of a spacing error
Oh,
that's
right.
that
fuck.
squished together some words in the proposal language.
This was a proposal.
Right, and they said that the proposal was
Even a final
gibberish.
draft.
But advocates for the proposal point out that the language is quite legible and state election law does not require spacing.
Do we have
5 of the Michigan state court justices agreed.
Do we have the wording?
No,
Oh,
don't care.
okay.
No, it was perfectly legible. I have read it, and it was perfectly
No, I
legible.
think that Republicans are afraid this is going to go exactly the way it went in. Is it
Kansas.
Kansas? I was going to say Kansas, but my brain was like, no, it could
They
have been
should be
Kansas.
afraid it's going to go the way it went in Kansas. They're terrified.
Yep.
America supports abortion.
Oh,
Yep.
So,
A Fox News poll
I think it's
shows
gone up to
dads
80%.
hugely in charge or in favor of.
Oh God, yeah. No,
And-
any dad that
I
a
have
kid
not
comes
noticed
to
it,
you
yeah.
and says, if your daughter comes to you and says, I need an abortion, no dad is going to be like, no. Every dad's going
Every
to be like,
dad
oh,
I
that's
know
a brilliant
would
idea.
drive
I'll
you
take
to
you right now,
Mexico.
honey.
Yep.
Let's go.
Not a problem. They don't give a fuck.
I got you. What's the kid's name so I can go beat him up for money later? Cool, thanks. It was consensual, right? Cool. Let's just get this handled. All right. Is it a train?
No.
it might
I'm
be
gonna
another light
say
at the end of the tunnel.
It is
We
not
shall
a train.
see.
I'm going to go with not a train.
With the November midterms looming, Republican hopes of taking control of both chambers seem to be slipping away, right? They've been doing the God, Guns, and Gays routine, and it doesn't seem to be working.
So it is a
and-
train. I fucked this one
No.
up.
What? It's not a train. Anyway, the Gods, Guns, and Gays used to work great all across the country.
Yep.
But the country has changed, particularly
Oh, yeah.
on gays.
There is no yardage
And
to be
now-
had amongst the younger kids.
No. Well, there's no yardage to be had in America on that one.
Yeah.
So where it was evenly split 20 years ago, now it's overwhelmingly leave them the fuck alone and let them get married.
Well, another thing you have to remember is that gayness and gay life is so prevalent that I cannot think of a single family that does not have or know a gay person.
Yeah.
And again, if you don't know somebody's gay, if you're sitting there saying, well, I don't know any gay people, that is aggressively because they don't fucking trust you. I
Yeah,
promise you.
absolutely.
You know at least one gay person. You work with them. You're friends with them. You go out for drinks with them. I don't know, but I promise you, you know several gay people. And if they're not, if you're like, I don't know anyone who's gay, someone's lying to you because they don't feel comfortable with you. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
And you should remember that.
Yeah.
But I'd never looked at it from that perspective. One of the benefits of the gradual loosening has been that lots and lots and lots of people came out,
Yep.
right? So that people that were gay, that you'd have never known they were gay,
Yep.
are now out, and now you know them and you know they're gay, and you know they're not weird and cool, and I can work with them, and yeah.
Yeah, no, even when I was younger, it was very strange for me being bisexual. And being bisexual is different than being gay. Like, it's a totally different world. Instead of, the usual stuff that people say to gay people, I got the, you're greedy and whatever. And I'm like, no, if I'm dating somebody, I'm with that person. Like, anyway, just one of those things, like,
Yeah.
it's weird and it's different, but and nobody believes you when you're like, oh, I'm bisexual, but I'm dating, the opposite sex. Then they're like, well, you're just saying that because of whatever. No.
Yeah.
So, no, just food for thought for people, eat it up. All right. Are we ready to move on?
Well, the point here is the Democrats are, at least on the margin, winning the culture war this time out.
Yeah.
And with the
Not kick
repeal,
off a new front.
with the repeal of abortion, this may be a light at the end of the Trumpisy tunnel. So, we'll see.
Oh, the reason why I was going to say that this is a train was that Republicans are going to get run over by it. That was my thought process when you
Oh,
started
fine.
talking.
Well, we can certainly hope it's a train on their track.
Yes, that was on the track that they're tied down to, like the old school cartoons, where the guy with the
I accept they're the ones
handlebar
tying them
mustache.
so
Snidely
stupid.
whiplash.
Yes, that guy. Like,
But they're the ones tying them to this rail.
I know. And then the Mountie was, and I think this may be from the cartoon, but the Mountie was burning virtue, and the girl was greedy good thighs. So yeah, I think that was from the cartoon. So anyway,
Was that her name? Oh shit.
in the cartoon,
No, I remember
There was
a
also a
cartoon where it was
TV show.
Penelope something.
Yeah.
But
No
anyway,
earthly idea.
yeah, I don't know. This was forever ago. We're
but
old.
again, Snidely Whiplash was who
Yep.
was real.
Yeah.
Or that's the television show. It's far more memorable than the good guy.
Oh boy. All right. Update.
So and so of the Mounties.
Right?
That was his tagline.
All right. Updates with BoomerRex health threat.
So we'll see. New York may have done something smart.
Uh-oh.
They've declared an emergency
All right.
over polio. They found it in another county, so now they have found it in 4 counties up there just north of New York. New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're all the same species and so on. So, they're beginning to, one of the things that happens when you do this, as part of the disaster emergency, it allows EMS workers, midwives, pharmacists to administer polio vaccines and allows doctors to issue standing orders for the vaccine. And then you use the data on immunizations to track if you're making any progress. But this is the right way to fight a disease we do not want back in this country.
Now I have a question. Isn't polio one of those that's put in childhood vaccines right now?
This is
Or
one we
was that one of the
wiped. This
ones
is one we
took out
wiped out 30 years
Yep.
ago.
and was removed from the regular vaccine list?
No. The current standard is there are 3 injections, and I think 2 of them were before the age of 1 year, and the third one is after. And that's the standard recommended injection series for newborns.
Okay, so here's my question. Is it potential that some of the people who may be shedding the polio virus through their waste might be vaccinated against it already?
No.
So you can't have, like with COVID, even if you get the shot, you can still shed the illness even if you don't really have symptoms or anything, even
No.
if you never have symptoms.
The polio vaccine is very effective, and the one that's going around is one that is still used in the oral vaccines in parts of Eastern Europe and in the Mideast. And again, because it's easier to administer, it's the one you put on the sugar cube, which we used. That's how we wiped out polio to start with, was those little sugar cubes. School kids stood in lines 3 blocks long to eat their sugar. Well, we stood in lines 3 blocks long to get an injection, and then we stood in lines 3 blocks long to get our sugar cube. So, anyway, several sugar cubes. It was 2 or 3. But the current
cube, that sounds delightful.
It was what they could put it on.
Yeah.
But that was live virus. And that one did cause an occasional infection. Much, much less than was occurring in the general population. So,
Fair.
But the new one is not live vaccine, cannot be shed, etc., etc., etc.
No, but what I'm saying is that if you have gotten the shot, so when you're a kid, and now you're like
I suppose
20,
that's
30
always
years
possible.
old,
Vaccines are not
that it-
100% effective.
that it'll hit
And
you,
so if you get
and your
infected
body
with
will
this-
fight it off, but you'll still piss it or shit
Possibly.
it out. Okay, that was my question. Okay, no,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But their problem in those counties north of New York is they have vaccination rates in the 50s and 60%.
Yeah, you need what, 85, 90?
Yeah.
It's a really high number for her.
It's
Yeah,
a
the
pretty-
number I saw was 94.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was
Again,
a really
it's
high
gonna
number.
be a bell curve, and yeah, you'll get
Yeah.
a lot of the height of it before that, but
Well, the U.S. as a
Not down
whole
there.
is 94% vaccinated against polio.
Now,
So these were people who made a choice not to get the
oh
vaccine.
yeah, aggressively. How is polio transferred? Is it a coughing thing? Is it a breathing thing? Is it a touching people's eyes thing? Don't touch people's eyes.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I was just curious.
Well, we're about to find out.
Yeah, we were just talking.
Let me
about
do
it.
climate weird
All right,
while
move on.
asshole
Climate
finds out how
weird.
polio is spread.
fecal and oral route.
Okay.
Ingest the virus. Yep.
So if you're talking to somebody, it can get in your mouth and you'll swallow it and you can get it.
Virus is shed in the feces of infected individuals.
Yeah.
So since monkeys are bad at washing their hands,
It gets into
all
the
gonna
food,
die.
and then it gets in your mouth, and then you're all done.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, make sure you go to restaurants that you watch people wash their hands regularly. All right.
Yeah. And have
I don't know what-
touchless door openers.
No.
Because otherwise, everyone that didn't
Or-
wash their hands is touching the thing.
Yeah, here's what I was taught in my food safety courses. Thank you, McDonald's. I appreciate you. Paper towel.
Yep.
Open the door. Put your foot in the door and then throw the paper towel away and then walk out.
Yep.
Yep. Anyway, just a thought. Okay, climate weirding. What's going on?
All right. So poor old California. Right. I mean, I guess locusts are next. So they have wildfires just going crazy, right? Because they're in the drought and they have high winds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're trying to control major wildfires in Southern California and in the Sierra Nevadas. They've grown explosively. They have extensive evacuations. But now comes the wind from the hurricane, which is making the fires worse. But worse than that, the hurricane is also bringing rain, which may...
I was giggling inside my head thinking about mudslides and fire, Are you telling me that's
That'd be
what...
pretty
Those are
bad.
your choices. You can
Well, I
go
think
over
it'll-
here and get buried in a mudslide, or you can stay here and burn to death. Those are your choices.
That's fine. If it puts out the fire, it's just the idea.
I would guess that it will put out the fire before it causes mudslides.
Seems like.
Right. But again, burned areas,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that you're not talking about the normal mudslides you get in California when there's a lot of rain and so forth. You're talking about ground that is utterly unprotected.
Yep.
Where you get floods where you've never had them before.
Now it's mud
because
and
there's
charcoal.
nothing, yeah. And
Yeah, because all the grasses and
Yep.
all the roots
all the
are
stuff that
dead.
could have stopped it
Yep.
are gone.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then I had a second one for climate weirding.
Oh, and we have a third one too.
Ba-ba-bum.
Okay, well let me do my second one.
Oh yeah, no.
When you talk about climate weirding, right? Being hit by an asteroid is going to weird your climate worse than you've ever
2037, here we
thought
come.
about weirding it. Yeah. So anyway, the DART spacecraft is finally within sight of its target. It's
Excellent.
dead on course. It has the first picture of its target, and it can see it and so on. And it's going
Call it Wormwood. Scare the Christians.
to run into the asteroid Didymos and change its orbit around its little partner that it wanders around with. It was the
I want to get Wussy Whirlwind by some rock.
yeah. The picture of Didymos was made combining 243 images taken by, and I love this, DART's high-resolution imager, which is Didymos Reconnaissance and Asteroid Camera for Optical Navigation. Its name is
Draco.
Draco.
I definitely didn't read ahead, folks. I totally
got
came
that
up
one.
with that on my
No
own. I
bother.
swear. That's what happened.
So you had a
You're not
third one?
supposed to knock
Yep.
on wood?
What's
Oh
the
yeah,
third
no,
one?
this was the one we were talking about earlier in the pregame show. I just figured I'd mention it briefly. Zimbabwe had to move 2,500 wild animals from one area of a national preserve into another where they were closer to water sources due to drought, which is happening due to climate weirding.
Yeah.
So good job, Zimbabwe.
Absolutely.
And if you want more details on that, please go to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on Facebook, and click the link to our Patreon. Give us $1, and you'll be able to find all the information on that story. Yay! Segue! I loved that. That was good.
Right.
All right. Anything else to talk about on this Friday night before we leave these?
Oh, I was just going to
These
say
people
for
all
anybody.
to themselves until Monday. What are they going to do? They're going to be sad.
I know. Well, they can go back and watch old episodes.
Oh, we have plenty of.
Yeah, we
by
do.
the way, you need to go back to our Tucker Carlson episode, which, if I remember correctly, was episode 209, but it is labeled Tucker Carlson Rant Breakdown. So
Right.
please check that out. We did that
That's
on Monday.
excellent.
It's an amazing show. It's long, but stick with us.
Or
I make
skip
a
in
lot
and
of
out
important
because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's good things. It's good things. So check it out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And for those of you who doubt Zimbabwe's ability to move 2,500 animals,
They've done it before.
they've done it before. They moved 5,000 once
5,000, yeah.
before.
Hell yeah.
So
Back in the early.
they're moving, get this, 400 elephants.
As I recall, it was less elephants than that rampaging around. There was all kinds of a problem on the news.
Yeah.
So
400 elephants and 2,000 impalas and
Was it India or China where the 20-something
China,
elephants
I
set off on a
but
went
yeah, that's the
walkabout?
ones I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So good job.
Yeah.
yeah, no.
I think they're home.
Yeah.
They wandered them back.
But well done, Zimbabwe, and good job keeping track of your animals and making sure they're living healthy, happy, and amazing lives. We appreciate you for that.
All right.
All right. And nobody else has any notes to add? Cool. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review, smash
that like button on YouTube.
Go to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on Facebook for fun memes, and a link to our Patreon. Give us $1. You can find us on YouTube as BoomerRex, or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Samsung Podcasts. Hit us up on Twitter at BoomerRexTonight, and if you Google BoomerRexTonight, no spaces, all links will lead to us. If you go to Twitch, search for RisenLadyHeathen. I will be on this weekend because this week was kind of busy, so I didn't get a chance to jump on. But hopefully this weekend I will have time, and we'll have fun, and we'll see you all back here on... do you have something you want
I
to say?
have a thing.
Oh, he's found a thing. Quick.
Yeah. They were trying to throw Snoop Dogg out of England at one point.
What?
The Queen of England said that her grandbabies loved Snoop Doggy Dogg, and he had done no wrong in the UK, so she gave him permission to stay.
Oh,
So,
that's wonderful.
because it's gonna be a week full of shit that fucking pisses me off, and like,
I'm sorry.
it's
There's
gonna be all nice Queen Elizabeth stuff, and that's fine, but it's gonna be vacuous shit.
It is endearing to think of a severely old white English lady having that kind of a relationship with Snoop Dogg. That is amazing.
No,
I
I'm just
love it.
agreeing
It's
that-
adorable.
Right? To turn away from that moral panic
Yeah.
that is so easy and so very British that, yeah.
Yep.
Good job, Queen Elizabeth II. You were awesome in some ways, and maybe needed some work.
There's some problems with monarchy as a concept.
And I actually been thinking about it. I think at some point I will do a deep dive on her, but I feel like that's gonna take a
Let
while.
it pass. Wait for everyone to calm down.
Exactly. I don't want to talk about it anytime soon. So maybe, sometime next year or something. But I will add her to my powerful women of history,
That for sure.
so we can have an interesting discussion about the facts of her life, all of them, the good, the bad, the ugly. So that'll be fun. So keep that in mind. That's down the line somewhere once this is all calmed down and people have
All right.
stopped yelling about it. Okay, so we love y'all, and we'll see you back here Monday night for more Boomer Rex tonight. Have a wonderful weekend.